Hello guys, this is Avcoor again, and I want to keep continuing in the process that I said I would in my earlier videos. I'm going to just talk about all six classes because I think I need to start a basis, a foundation for the videos going forward. And I want to talk about these classes as in their importance. And we'll start with the Assassin, the Ranger class. I will say this at the beginning. This is more of a PvP oriented class. You'll see that when I discuss some of the characters, they function better in PvP than they do in PvE. And there's a couple of reasons why that is. So we'll go into one of the assessors that I have, and I'll discuss them a little bit. And then we'll go to the website, and we'll look at some of them in a little more detail. Not too much, because some of the videos were pretty long, and I'm sorry about that. I get carried away, but I like this game. So this is my assassin, the free one that we get. I really want the green assassin, Simi. I'll talk about her later. But assassins pretty much are a DPS class. What they offer is the highest mobility in the game. These guys move pretty far, like 5 squares. They can even go more than that. They're kind of like the horse character of this game. They're horse class slash assassins with a unique mechanic called the dodge mechanic, where they can automatically dodge a hit depending on certain conditions. And the better assassins are the ones that can guarantee their dodge, like Simi. She can guarantee dodge, but she has to kill an enemy, which kind of sucks. So we'll go into some of the dodge mechanics that they have. But for the most part, they are a DPS class. You are meant to use them to kill things. The stats, as you can see on the right hand side, she has high HP, high attack. She has really good defense, but she's an SSR character. Um, she's an SSR character, so that begs the reason that she would have solid defensive stats. And she has solid magic defense, which is one of the more admirable aspects of her character, but her skills just hold her back. You want your assassin actually to have high HP, high attack, and high concentration. Magic does not matter since they don't use magic to attack. Their defense is important. Their magic defense is important, but there's only so many stats you can increase. So keep that in mind when you build this character, that you have to focus on a couple of stats. I'll say for now, this is what I use on her to maximize her attacking stats. But overall, you would like to have I call this the defense break one. We'll go into the website right now and actually look at it, because the runes are actually more important for the assassin than pretty much any other class, because you want to expect them to do a certain job. And your crit rate, actually, you can increase your crit rate from your runes, so that's important. I mean, their class tree is important. The equipment you want that you actually get, they use daggers. They can use spears too, because of Armand or whatever his name is. But they use light equipment, which gives solid defensive stats, which is pretty good. Their equipment is also important. Not as important as the tank, though. Not as important as the warrior, and a little more important than the wizard, because they're actually going to take hits. So keep that in mind when you build your ranger class, that they're going to take hits once in a while, and depending on the situation, they actually make decent bait units. They're like the third best. No, they're the fourth best bait unit in the game. Uh, I would rank. I'll do a bait unit guide. I won't go into it here. So let's go to the website, and we'll go to Rangers. And as you can see, the Ranger class actually has only 7 units. They have 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 dark, 1 light, and 1 green. And Sawyer, she's actually a she's actually an R unit, so I really don't count her. But the thing about this unit is they are in every color. And they actually have 4 SSR units. When you look at SSR units, Ranger actually has the most. For whatever reason, Ranger actually has the most SSR units right now currently in the game. And that makes them unique in a way that you actually can think about them as a long-term project, because PvP is only going to get more important and you will actually need these characters. Out of these characters, I'll talk about 4. 4 like characters that I think stand out. First, we'll talk about Simi. Simi is the best assassin in the game. She does everything you would ask an assassin to do. Even her like unique passive actually increases her critical hit and physical attack. And after killing an enemy with an active attack or after dodging, you can reset your skill cooldowns. This is important for assassins because they're more of a skill-based class. Another thing to keep in mind with assassins, they are highly reliant on their skills in order to perform. There are times where wizards can actually get by on a skill cooldown because they attack from range and they deal magic damage. So not only are they not physically engaging certain units, they're also dealing magic damage, which a lot of units in this game have low magic resistance. So they're still functional without using skills. But the assassin, in order to maximize his offensive potential, they need to use their skills. So keep that in mind, that skills are important for an assassin. Passives are important for an assassin. And you wouldn't think that because tanks really rely on their passives the most. Excuse me. But assassins really need passives in order to work. So what type of passives am I talking about? Things that increase your critical hit chance after killing an enemy with an active attack, gain additional movement 3 squares. And we're going to talk about why not having this is not important. If an assassin doesn't have a passive like this, they automatically suck. Why do I say that? They can't get out of danger. In PvP, you want your assassin to kill a unit. You want your assassin to kill a unit. You can trade, but you want your assassin to kill a unit. And after he kills that unit, you want them to do something else. You want them to get out of that danger range. Because when you kill an enemy in PvP, usually the way it is set up, the way battles are set up, you're usually in enemy territory. If you have no way to get out of enemy territory, you're dead duck. Because assassins don't have passives that raise their defense. They have passives that allow them to dodge attacks. And that's good. But the best defense is not being there at all, period. And having this passive is good. This is why Simi is one of the best assassins in the game, because she has access to skills like this. Another one, when your HP is low at the end of the turn, gain dodge for 2 turns. Another great passive that allows you to access dodge. One of the bread and butter passives for an assassin class. Assassins need ways to not get hit. Some of the best assassins has ways to not get hit. And if you have ways to not get hit, you're on your way to building an elite killing machine. Flash of lightning is pretty good. Another thing about assassins, you want them to be able to put stats effects when they can on an opponent. A 20% chance for critical damage is huge. So, yeah, this is a really good one. Inflict Oath to Slaughter. The best part about Oath to Slaughter is one of the secondary aspects of assassins is extra movement. Extra movement is so important for an assassin. If they don't have it, they're automatically mediocre to bottom tier. Not only do you want them to have that 5 movement that they're so known for, but you actually want them to extend beyond the 5 movement to throw people off guard and to force them to make mistakes. In PvP, you want people to make mistakes. You want them to second guess themselves and misplace a unit. The threat of an opponent being able to move 8 squares and kill any target that they wish is enough for people to be thrown off their game. So take this into consideration that you'll see a lot of assassins after this not have the same tools that Simi has, and they automatically fall short of her greatness. Deal 20% increased damage against people, whatever. When the ally attacks the enemy within 1 tile, Simi jumps and helps. This is another passive. This is more for PvP. It can be used in PvP. But this is an important passive for rangers, assassin classes, as they usually have, almost every one of them typically have this passive. It allows them to deal extra damage, which you want. If in tank push strategies where you move the tank forward and you move the units forward, this is a pretty great passive. I wouldn't rank it too high, but I wouldn't rank it too low either. And another damage dealing, and she has a unique weapon which increases critical chance. Concentration is an important stat for assassins, as their crit allows them to maximize their damage potential, and they get access to weapons and skills that increase their critical chance. So that's good. And they go in the analysis of Simi and what she can do. And yes, Gladiator, Battle Axe, and Dire Wolf are great runes to have. I don't know the names of them unless I get the translation. Sometimes I play on the computer, sometimes I don't. So I'm sorry about that, guys. And like they say, stats, physical attack, damage up, and crit. So that is how you build a great assassin. Another assassin I want to go into is Ibn Attar. Ibn Attar is. This is what happens when you have an assassin not do a lot of assassin things. Like his passive is he deals increased damage to bleeding enemies. It seems like good on paper, but he's an assassin. You kind of want an assassin to his passives, their skills to how can I say this? When your assassin attacks, you want to automatically be able to guarantee a kill. Unless somebody's doing the bleed for him, he's gonna have to do the bleed for himself, and that kind of gimps him. Like it doesn't gimp Simi because she doesn't need a status effect on the target. She does produce status effects on the target, but her overall DPS allows her to overcome those limitations. She does not have that. Inflict bleed using on an enemy to active attack. If target already has bleed, immediately trigger it and deal. This is where his kill potential comes in, where he does become more assassin-like as he's able to get over that threshold of damage. But somebody has to assist him, or he has to assist himself. That means he's not going in 1 turn or 2 turns, depending on how you set it up. It kind of sucks because this dude has a lot of potential, but it's not there. But the thing I want to really talk about is He's an assassin with a leadership skill, which is really good. Which is the thing about assassins. Like at least three of these guys actually get leadership skills, which is kind of weird because you don't really want your assassin to have leadership skills. You just want all of their potential to be in damage dealing. But the fact that he gets this is really good because you get 10% increased damage when using single target skills. It's one of the best leader passes in the game. I just wish it was on somebody else. And once again, he has a skill that is based on bleeding damage. And he has an AoE attack, which AoE is okay for assassins, but they're better at single target damage. There's other classes that do AoE damage better. So yeah, this is kind of bad. Another one went in battle against bleeding. That kind of sucks. This passionate increases critical chance. This is kind of good. This is another skill I want to go over. When there are no allies in two tiles, increase own physical attack and physical defense by 10%. This is pretty good because assassins are lonely characters. They like to move alone and attack alone. They benefit in tank push strategies, but in PvP, you want them to isolate a target and kill them, or you want them to punish poor positioning. And sometimes that requires them to be alone. So that's really good. Jump toward an empty tile and deal 0.5 physical damage to all enemies in range. Grant God's protection to self for 2 turns. God's protection, 30% damage reduction. Effect removed after battle. It's not dodge, and that's what sucks because dodge is better. Because even with 30% damage reduction, you'll still get killed. So, whatever. Another. This skill is powerful because it puts slow on enemies. Because sometimes when assassins get slow, you want to take advantage of that. Because it allows them to disable tanks so you can attack their squishies. Which this is really good. And this is one of the reasons why he kind of sucks because the target has to be bleeding again. It's pretty much blows. And even his weapon, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good. This is what happens when an assassin is they try to be creative, but an assassin is kind of a linear character, as in their function. They're good at their function, but when they move outside of that, they kind of suffer. So take it as you will with this class. That like you can get there's more versatility in other classes than what they do. But when assassins get versatile, they lose their edge. Let's talk about Michael and why this is the case. Okay, what was that? We're on the cell phone, guys. Um, like her passive when above 80% increase P attack by something 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 at the end of action, give inspire to 2 allies with the. Okay, see this is why she kind of falls off as an assassin. She's buffing her party, which is okay. Other characters can do that, and they're not assassins. So you want your assassin to be like Simi. You want them to have high damage output, high dodge. You want them to have extra movement, and you're gonna see her fall short in these aspects. Before battle, convert 2 debuffs on self into buffs. This is pretty good, but eh. And this is pretty good though. Precise move increase damage done by 8% after attacking. If you still have movement points left, you can freely move. This is one of the ways that if you manage your movement, you can get extra movement. It's kind of like Kanto Rim on Fire Emblem where you attack and you. This is good for assassins, Other skills I kind of would, yeah. And this is another one that has potential but is low. Okay, you deal damage and you gain nibble for 1 turn after killing the target with the skill, but you can't move after that, so it's Garbo. Increases keeping calm increases when HP is below 50%. Garbo. Jump towards the enemy tile and deal to enemies in range. Grant guys with it. This is kind of Garbo. At the end of action, grant nibble to one ally within. This is really good. I wish it was on somebody else. But the thing about a skill like this for an assassin is if you're not going head first into the enemy, this is a pretty good skill because you can buff your ally. The next turn you go in and your ally can fight you. So it's really good. And like Skydance is Garbo. It seems to be able to use skill. Is Garbo. Yeah. Yeah, she's this is what happens when you like have an assassin do more than this assassin. Kind of sucks that that's the case. Let's go with Layla last. This is the last one we'll talk about. Because she's darkness, her potential should be high. Like, this is really good when your HP is full, you increase your crit rate. That's phenomenal. When dealing critical damage to an enemy, inflict him with 2 random debuffs. That's not phenomenal. Um, not for an assassin. Your assassin should deal as much damage as possible and get to the enemy as soon as possible. It has potential in the fact that when you use this skill, um, you're actually helping your party, but you yourself have to sacrifice the fact that you're not going to be the main DPS. Because if you're dealing critical damage to an enemy and inflicting them with 2 random debuffs, you're not killing them. So that kind of sucks. Uh, Once again, she has a leadership passive, which is really good. But it could go somewhere else. Allies deal 10% increased damage against non-female enemies. This is actually pretty effective. You'd be surprised how effective that is. Hunter's Shade. This is one of those good abilities. I just wish it were on more assassins. Gain the ability to move 3 tiles further and gain insight for 2 turns, which increases your critical chance. This is super good for assassins. These are the type of skills you want to see on your assassin. Skills that increase movement and give you a buff so you can kill the enemy. That's really good. Venomous Blade. It deals poison. It's pretty okay. It's all right. Not what I would ask for assassins. Once again, another AOE skill. Whatever. AOE not that great. This is all right. Armor Shatter because say you kill an enemy, you can drop a debuff on them, but it's not that good. After using a skill gain absorption buff, yeah, not good. If HP is below 50% after battles, gain dodge buff for 2 turns. This is good. This is actually really good. Say for instance you kill an enemy in enemy territory and you exchange with them or they deal damage to you. You actually get dodge for 2 turns. So if you manage your turns right, only like if you send her in on the your third or fourth turn and your HP's low and you get dodge, that means there's 2 times the enemy cannot kill you. So that's really good. Deadly Advance is another skill I want to talk about. Increase your physical attack for every tile you move before attacking an enemy. Max 15%. This is a really big help for her. This is a really big help for an assassin. This is what you want to see on your assassin characters. Stuff that increases their damage by movement or increases their damage any way possible. Excuse me. This is super important. I wish more people had that. And that's it for the assassin. This is a pretty good class, but you're asking them to do one thing, and when they move away from that one thing that they do, it's hard to justify them being good. And take it as you will, but this may be my opinion, but it's based on real time battle experience. And I don't want to offend. I know people like Ivan, Ivan, he can be used, and so can Michael. But to function as an assassin, I think it's Semi. Then it's kind of like I think Semi, and then it's kind of whatever after that. Lila would be good, better if she had better stats. I think Clarice comes in second. It's a toss up between these three. Michael is a buffer more than an assassin. And if you look at her that way, she's actually pretty good. But as a straight assassin, she sucks. And that's my opinion. If you like my content, the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. Have a great day and laters.